guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Plant Medicine, Cannabis, Psychedelics, and Pharmaceutics. I know I tell you folks, I'm super stoked every day. I have a guest, but today it is so special to me. This is my brother, my king, that I got on the show today. And before I get to Oskii, you guys know what's up. What's up? What's up? What's up? It is our good house cleaning. Why do we need to do good house cleaning? We need to clean the house. So what is our good house cleaning? Sure is for educational purpose and should not be taken as medical advice. Consult with your doctor for all your medical need. Do not stop or start any medicine without talking to your doctor. Having said that, who am I? This is Dr. Ho from WCI Health. I help you level up on your wellness journey using the healing powers of plant medicine like cannabis, psychedelic, using education as tools. Bible said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. We got to be educated. These plants have been demonized for generations. It's high time for our people to learn the real truth and discard the lies. So that's why I'm here. And after that, what is our next good house cleaning? Sponsor, sponsor, sponsor. Without that, we cannot even bring this show to you. This show is sponsored by WCI Health, your alternative health and wellness hub. They are the makers of Glows and Glows Beauty. These are CBD infused products for your pet, for yourself. Where can you find their products? Head straight to their website, wci-health.com, or get in the DM, WCI Health 19. Also, I want to say thank you to you. Yes, you. Without you, I'm not here. Thank you. When you're supporting Health Equals Wealth membership, you are part of our sponsor as well. And also all of you supporting us on Apple Podcasts or Patreon. You are part of this village. It's Take a Village. I'll normally tell you folks. For those of you that are still on the sideline, we want you, we need you. If you're an organization and you would like to sponsor this show, any segment, please reach out. You can slide in my DM, WCI Health 19, or head straight to the website and leave us a note. Having said that, we have I have an amazing human with me today. Thank you so much. I have Oskii Chevanier. Oskii is the fourth generation Jamaican herbalist. You guys knew I grew up in western part of Africa. We use herbal medicine as our wellness tool. That's our first line of therapy. I tell people I trust my herbs more than any other thing, even though I'm a clinical pharmacist. I trust these herbs because I have used them when I was born. Oskii, they use the medicine, the herbs, to give birth to the children. They take the first children's birth, we use herbs. So this is a very, very special person to me. Oskii Chevanier is a Rastafarian of the Sanskrit ideology. I know when I hear Sanskrit ideology, what comes to my mind is Raphael Machula. What comes to my mind is THC, CBD. These are peace. Sanskrit means peace. Isn't that so? Sure. Yeah, it's peace, it's bliss. That is how cannabis was named, THC was named as a blissful agent. So my brother here is from that heritage. He currently works with various physicians, healthcare professionals to bring wellness to you using our forefathers' traditional herbal medicine. I can't do justice to this man, so I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna let him give us a little bit about himself. Oskii, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, sister. Thank you for having me. I'm honored and blessed to be in your presence as well, sister. I'm a fan and a respecter of your work. So thank you for having me.
Hallelujah. Thank you so much. Oskii, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like I said, you've been in this space for at least 30 years. You were born into this space. It's not, you are the original OG. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you are doing right now. Talk to me. Your work with all these physicians. The physicians generally, they are kind of biased when it comes to herbal medicine. So for you not to just be working with one, but multiples of them, that's huge. Talk to me.
I kind of got into the activism space after getting, well, let me start from the beginning. Cannabis was part of my life when I was very young, because I was born with childhood Tourette's. I got diagnosed with childhood Tourette's and ADHD at a young age. Mm-hmm. And my mother never wanted to give me the medication they prescribed me. So she always treated me, she had went back to her herbal medicine before I was born, like when I was born, and got back to her roots. And so she treated me with herbal medicine way up till I was about 11 years old, you know. But when I was about 11, my dad started dying and puberty hit at the same time. Oh. And it's like, so I was kind of running from the house, and I was not using their medication, and they were trying to prescribe me other medications, and I was just using my herb. So I started using my herb from then. And I'm 11 and 12 years old. I wasn't really running from the house at that time. I was actually using my herb, and it was treating my condition. I would smoke a spliff and go to class, and I had gifted class sometimes too. And I would pass my test and ace my stuff and be doing great. It wasn't until, you know, close to my father's death and after his death that I started becoming into the legacy business, the business of it. And I actually started to support myself off of the cannabis and herb like that. And that's where, you know, things got gritty and whatnot. So long story short, I ended up going to prison for growing cannabis. I got hit in a grow house. I got hit in my a 4-room grow in 2006. And in 2009, I went to prison. And me and my wife, as a matter of fact, went to prison, my now wife. And we got out in about 2011, at 18 months to 15 months. And from there, my focus went into the cannabis medicine. I had already been in the market and for my entire life. And I really didn't want any more of that. You know what I mean? I know this plant I know it's the power of it. My grandfather used to pick it when it grew wild in Jamaica and heal people with it. So I mean, it was used in my family from before Prohibition. And Prohibition snatched it from us and turned people who are its stewards against it. And I never saw that. I never was for some reason, I guess the fair aspect of it didn't stick on to me. So I love this plant. I knew its power, and I always was, you know, just rebellious with it and trying to keep it around and alive unwittingly. Anyhow, when I got out of prison, I started to study the plant extensively. I'd already grown it. I'd already seen it work. We had been using it and treating people with it for years because we were the folks that had it, but we weren't doing it as our profession, right? As what we do. So when I got out, I started to study the plant and its healing powers, along with the rest of the herbalism that I had been brought up with, and kind of just trying to, you know, because I wanted to have my family's backing, and they had been in the midst of the drug war in Jamaica, the Prohibition war. Mm-hmm. So they were terrified of cannabis. Although they know its value, but they're totally terrified of it. And me coming out of prison for it, they had kind of wanted me to just disown it and just like get something else out of my life. But what it comes down to is that's me. If I was to disown it, I would not even be myself. Like I would have to accept something that wasn't me. And then on top of that, the industry was coming, and I was watching this industry like, wait a minute here, like folks about to get rich off of this, and they don't even know about it. On top of that, and they weren't messing with it for so long, like
crazy.
So right, it's ridiculous. So I got into activism at that point as well as researching, and getting into activism got me linked up with the doctors who were in activism, and the doctors saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. Like I didn't know the value of the stuff of the stuff I have, because I had been persecuted for it, for one, and for two, the stuff that I was raised with my grandfathers, the knowledge of the elders, the ancients, how to work the earth and how to use the herbs to heal, and those things I didn't realize that wasn't common knowledge. I just didn't pay attention. I didn't realize that I had grown up under some stuff that is going to be gone pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started realizing, the doctor started to tell me like my value and let me know, like, wait a minute here, like you know, you got a bunch of stuff in your head that's important. I started to realize how much I did. And after that, I started craft who I am today, which is, you know, educator, because I didn't want to be, I started out working with the doctors and healing people with the herbs and, you know, working through them and field testing different ways to make the medicine work and you know, manipulating the cannabinoids and adding other herbs and yada, yada, yada. But I watched my dad die of cancer. So after working with people for a while who were sick, I realized that that's not what I want to do. I want to prevent this stuff. I want to work with people who are well and want to live a lifestyle of wellness and help them change their life. Because 9 times out of 10, when someone comes to me that's sick and they want this new wonder herb to cure them, cannabis can't do that. It can't turn a lifestyle around. If someone's coming to me in all type of turmoil and dis-ease, I'm going to recommend for them a lifestyle change, not just cannabis. Cannabis is a supplement to that lifestyle change. But so that also became my call to action, was that cannabis is a holistic herb and it's to be treated as such and respected as such. And not to be, I mean, I understand the whole recreational market and the funny bags and the colors and flavors, but my goal is to educate people about what cannabis really is, its true value, using it in its raw form, using it in its full form from root to seed to tip to leaf.
Yeah.
Understanding its whole plant value and its nutritional value over its acute symptomatic relief value of the smoking.
Yeah, coming to that, Oskii, you just dropped a whole lot of golden nugget. First of all, isn't it like freaking crazy for folks to be taken to prison for wanting to take care of their body? Right. Because and you've been in my clubhouse room many times. I don't believe in recreation. There's no recreation anywhere. It don't exist. Right. If this plant, if our body is not deficient, we won't be needing this stuff. If we are not thirsty, we won't be needing no drinks. That drink you have is because you needed the drink because you're thirsty. If you're not thirsty, you won't need that. It's just crazy. And like you said, the BIPOC, the Black indigenous people of color, we have been suppressed and criminalized over this plant. Right. But people are making millions already from this plant, and the injustice has still occurred. That brings me to this question, Oskii. What do you tell us a little bit about cannabis land race? And what do you think? How can we preserve? Because you, like the doctors told you, you are special. The knowledge that you have in there, we need to begin to write it in a book right now. Right. You need to begin to document it because, like you said, well, it's about to go extinct. I grew up in Africa, and a lot of the herbs, I wish I had the knowledge then to be recording these things. Recently, I called my sister and I said, Lara, do you still remember some of those herbs that we used to use when we were younger? She was beginning to come up with some, but they were lost. That lot of them that is gone with my father, with my parents' generation. And now even in Africa, technology and all this Western world is infiltrated our society, and all those tradition is gone. So for you, one of the things, if this is the only thing you're going to take out of this discussion with me today, is that I need to begin my book, right? To begin to document every single thing, both the one in your father's, in your mother's generation, and the one in your community. Those are golden nuggets that we will not see anymore. Talk to me about land race and how we can preserve it.
Right. This is important. And the thing about it is like it's having this information in my head is almost like a curse because it's scary. You get what I'm saying? It's like I understand where things are going and people are not seeing it. And it's like, it's hard. I don't even know how to warn people because they don't understand the whole line of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Landrace Cannabis is the cannabis that grew wild. Its original state either grew wild from its original birthplaces, in Asia and in India, and Afghan, or places it's assimilated in Jamaica, places it's been brought to and assimilated to its natural environment.
Mm-hmm.
Landrace Cannabis is the original God-grown form of, or just the plants that comes from the earth. It hasn't been touched by man. It hasn't been bred. It hasn't been genetically. It hasn't been crossed. Nothing. That cannabis, although it's not the highest in THC or CBD, it has the broadest spectrum of cannabinoids, right? The largest spectrum. And that is where the medicine lies. The medicine does not lie in any singular cannabinoid. It lies in the broadness of the spectrum. So the most powerful, potent medicine of them all is landrace. That is also the backbone of all the new genetics. When you breed, you need those to be backbone, because otherwise your plants are getting more and more bred out of you. You're going from the original plant that was a red Russian kale to a broccoli that has way less of the nutritional content and value of this original one. You know what I mean? Like, if you understand how plant, like all vegetables are nutritious, but they have vegetables that are bred to have colors and flavors, and that right there saps its nutritional value. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing is happening with cannabis. And the problem is cannabis is being bred for reasons, well, the same thing that food has, for reasons that are just completely man-made, for colors and smells and tastes, and even singular cannabinoids. It's a cool reason to breed. Like, and there's I'm not saying that breeding in these fashions are completely wrong, but there's no emphasis on landrace preservation. What they don't realize, if you continue to breed like this, the landrace are going to disappear. They already have a bunch of varieties that start from a inbreed. You get what I'm saying? They start from OG Kush and Girl Scout cookies and these things that are way far separated from land races already. They have about a backbone somewhere in there. So these new, as it gets more and more bred out, and especially as big pharma gets their hand in it, cannabis is going to become less and less of a medicine. It's going to be more and more of like another herb that people take that doesn't have necessarily the power of the cannabis as we know it or as we knew it, right? And I mean, my thing is to tell people that they need to learn how to grow their own, and learn and find themselves a reputable seed producer who has an emphasis on landrace preservation.
That kind of brings me to my next question, Oskii. What is the importance of growing your own? I know like you said, you were born into this. There is no cannabis. When you talk about the Rastafarians, they own cannabis. That is them. When I was a little girl, my brother used to play Bob Marley, Period. I grew up, salvation here.
Yes. Yes,
So that's part of my childhood. So there is, what is the importance of growing your own?
Well, it's super important. For one, we need to learn how to get back to the earth anyways. We need to learn that we need to have an attachment to growing and producing things out of the earth. We cannot be dependent upon the entities that there are to give us our food completely. And if they decide to stop, we're at a loss. That can't be the case. We have to learn how to get our hands on the soil. That's just period. Learn how to grow your own food. Learn how to grow a couple herbs. We need to learn that. We need to get back to there. It's getting far and away from us. That being said, growing your own cannabis is a vital part of understanding of using it. If you're dependent upon the dispensaries and the healthcare system to give you your cannabis, you're pretty much at the same whim that you are when it comes to the pharmaceutical companies. You're getting it from them. You don't know, you can't. They may have this test and that test and everything, but like I said, as time goes on, these strains and varieties are going to get less and less effective medicinally, because they're just pretty much going farther and farther away from the original strains. You know what I'm saying? For instance,
Mhm.
CBD hemp flower is a variety. It's cannabis. But it's
Mhm.
cannabis bred to have a singular cannabinoid
Mhm.
expanded and one dropped. So
Mhm.
it CBD's cannabinoid profile is tiny. Hemp flower's cannabinoid profile is like 10, 11, 15 cannabinoids in
Mhm.
comparison to the original cannabis that was, who knows how many. And
Mhm.
then the Landrace, which is more than that. So just going to show you, like, when they breed it and stuff out, eventually people are not going to be able to get the same type of medicine out of there, for one.
Mhm.
And for two, it's going to be just about as expensive. It's going to be not as effective. You're not going to have, you need to learn how to do it yourself and get seeds, because there are strategies. Like, for instance, these are the stuff that I'll be teaching later on in when I design my own classes and stuff.
Mhm.
There are strategies of how to use one plant indefinitely. You know what I'm saying?
Indefinitely.
For as long as one can, and just pretty much not have to go back. There are strategies that one can use to use a plant over and over. Like, there, there's so many ways to get benefits out that plant, that just getting it from the dispensary in its bud form, or buying it
Mhm.
in some other you're not getting you're not getting its full value. You know, you could
Absolutely.
be juicing this thing in the morning. In my opinion, raw cannabis juice is probably its most powerful form of medicine.
I love juicing. That is my
Right.
favorite. I tell people that, look here, for me personally, I love juicing. They tell me, oh, that's gonna be a waste because it's a lot. I say, you don't need a lot. You need about a couple of leaves, and you add it in your favorite
Yep.
drinks.
Yep. Juice a lot
Smoothies,
of
you need a
other
couple
stuff.
of leaves and add it in your favorite in your smoothies. That
Yep.
is the best.
Yep.
That is
If
the
you're making a
best.
kale juice and a carrot juice, whatever, just throw some leaves up in there with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then
So I know that you are a very, very healthy person. I see your posts on social, a lot of follow folks. Is a big one on IG. If you are not following Oskii, you need to go hit him up right now
my
and
little
follow. And we're
baby on
gonna
there.
put Oskii's information in the show notes when we post this episode. I mean, with all these genetically engineered stuffs going on, do we even really have vegan? Is there? I mean, this they say vegan. Are they even really real? Is vegan even really real?
Vegan
And
is not vegan is not anything to do with health at all. So, it can say vegan on it and maybe be health conscious, because I mean, a vegetable is vegan, a kale is vegan, you know, but something you get off the shelf in a box that says vegan on it is not healthy. Vegan is a stance, a political activism stance against using animal products. It has nothing to do with health. That's what it got started with. So it's about not messing with animals. And because animal agriculture has gone to the point where it's making everybody sick,
mm-hmm.
vegan has become popular because being plant-based is a healthier option to eating 3 huge plates of meat a day with starch on the side and vegetables as garnish. Because that is the way that people in America have the standard American diet has become, it's become detrimental.
So how do we live a healthy lifestyle then? If vegan that they have sold to us, the holy vegan,
Oh,
expensive, it's not even the real deal. So how do we? Where do we go from here,
well,
Oskii?
it's about whole foods, plant-based. These are the hashtags you want to search, and the ones you want to get into the plant-based lifestyle. Whole foods, plant-based. We want to get back to processing our own foods, right, and making our own things from scratch. We want to get back to buying our beans dry, dry legumes, dry grains. You know what I'm saying? If needs be,
Mm-hmm.
soaking these things overnight, making them in bulk, getting the tools. Like, we need to get, like, I have a Vitamix, and it costs $350 for the cheapest one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's what I need to process things down: nuts into nut butters, grains into powders and flours, uh, um, things, smoothies to extra, just basically I can liquefy and food process things like a factory with it. That's what you have to compete with, because the thing is, we're slaves to convenience right now. The world does not go on a whole foods plant-based, does not work on a whole foods plant-based schedule. It works on a processed food schedule.
Yeah.
So in order to get ourselves aligned with the processed food schedule and not be poisoned by convenience, they say curiosity kill a cat, convenience kill a human. That's what I say.
Absolutely.
Then we got to get the tools to do these things ourselves and equip ourselves with the knowledge and a little bit of tips and knowledge of how to do it. Like, how to cook in bulk and put things up in the freezer, how to get your hit the farmer's market and get your food in dry bulk. You know what I'm saying? Do your food prep. Buy your stock your fridge with fruits and veggies, or once it stay out of the, know what can stay in the fridge and what can't stay out. Stock it with vegetables, fruit, mushrooms, these different bright colored, because the reason why being plant-based is healthier is because meat is not meant to be eaten how it's eaten. Meat is a supplement. My grandfather, who died 103 years old, who had the farm of Jamaica, around the biggest farm in the town. Chicken, pig, donkey, hen, duck, every animal that you could think of. I mean, mango. If you watch his plate, when I grew up, I walked at his plate eating. He has the piece of meat on his plate is the smallest thing on there. There's ground food, vegetable, all kinds of things full of his plate, and the meat is tiny, because he understands that to eat it. He grew up in the time that to eat an animal, you had to raise it, care for it, treat it well, feed it well, and finally look into its eyes and take its life and decide that's gonna add sustenance to your family.
My dad, when we were growing up, he doesn't really like beef, more of a fish, maybe because we're from the riverine side of the country. Also, I grew up, we had poultry where I hated the chicken. I mean, I didn't like the chicken because they had their cage, their house, but we leave them, they roam around the house. They walk, they just go all over the place. And I used to not like it as a little girl because they poop all over the place, and I didn't like that. But that was life. My grandmom, from my mom's side, she's over 100 years old, and she's still alive. She's still living today, and it's not in a big city. So I totally agree with everything you are saying. It's like we are feeding to kill ourselves. Have you noticed that back in the days, all these disease that we hear about now, we weren't even hearing about this stuff?
It did exist. Matter of fact, that's the project I'm working on right now with Dr. Felicia and Nurse Marilyn. I'm working on a project right now to teach people up on a platform of how to use herbs and cannabis to treat, the illnesses and whatnot that plague the Western world today. In our research, we came to realize that out of the top 10 diseases that plague the Western world today, about 7 of them or 6 of them didn't even exist in ancient times. These illnesses, and to be even more clear, they still don't exist in places where they have not adopted a Western lifestyle. You get what I'm saying? So these things, the things that we're dying of nowadays, that we run to the healthcare system, that they have no cure for, and they can only treat symptoms, the diabetes, the high blood pressure, the heart conditions, the prostate cancers, the breast, and these things are symptoms of a Western lifestyle. They are not diseases that don't have cures. They're simply Western lifestyle. That lifestyle needs to change them. And that's why I learned, and that's what I realized too, when I was working with cannabis, cannabis is not a cure-all. Your lifestyle is a cure-all. People, and there's a false sense that cannabis has the ability to just stop everything in its tracks and treat people. And it has that ability in some people, in certain individuals. But we are not in the environment that provides for holistic medicine. We are in an environment that is riddled with toxins from head to foot. heavy metals pumping out of the water, the air, our food system. We are eating foods that are detriments to our systems. We're breathing it in. We're stressed. There are no meditation. Meditational practice used to be commonplace in ancient times. We don't meditate. We live in a fast pace. We don't sleep well enough. We're in front of screens. We have to detoxify and get our system to an even holistic being for holistic therapies and practices to even having a chance to work. It's like you're trying to throw water on a gas fire. You've got to get the gasoline out of there. You get what I'm saying? It's sometimes people, a lot of times people are terminally ill or have illness like that. They've been ill for a time and not realizing it. It's been building up. It's not just, it didn't come overnight. No terminal illness. They didn't wake up one day and say, oh, I'm sick. It's been building. So there's no way that some herb, no matter how powerful it is going to turn that back overnight. Cannabis included.
What there's another thing. I mean, it's like, I mean, it's kind of like everything you're saying that, I mean, it makes sense. It really do make sense. There's this other thing that they talk about, organic versus the alkaline. What is your take on that?
Okay.
They come up with all sorts every day.
I'll be careful with this too, man. I got to be careful with this because there are so many Sebeites and the Sebi followers and whatnot, the Alkaline Diet, who you know, who hold this guy as a prophet, and I understand, and he definitely is a man of honor. I respect the crap out of him and his work. He got so many people to understand, especially famous people who are influencers, to understand the holistic lifestyle and everything like that. But he is also, you know, a salesman selling his brand of holistic healing. And that right there kind of leaves people who are in communities that don't have and things like that at a loss, because alkaline food is hard to find, it's expensive, and many times it's not organic, and also the herbs. So my thing is this: when you're trying to understand how to heal with herbs and how to eat properly, the most important thing when you're trying to even follow alkaline diet, understand that Sebi was giving out the alkaline herbs that he knew. That doesn't mean that those are the only ones that work. That just means that those are the ones that he was closest to, that he had from his environment, that he studied, that he went around. There are alkaline herbs in people's backyards they step over and go spend online for some sort of alkaline herb from across who knows where. And
to tell you the truth, I mean, I'm not vast on Sebi's what his platform is, but me as a clinician, as a scientist, I mean, when you talk about focusing on alkaline food or alkaline diet, there has to be balance.
Right. Well, Sebi's ideology is actually a lot of theory. People don't realize that because it worked, it doesn't mean that it's not scientific fact. So the stuff that's fact, that's theory, gets blended in because it worked. So it's almost like everything that he said is gold, when at the end of the day, it's not necessarily like that. Like there are other ways to wellness besides the alkaline. You get it? It's ideal. The alkaline diet is ideal.
It's gonna help you, but at the same time, you do not want to neutralize all the acid in your body, though. There's a reason why the acid is there.
Well, it doesn't neutralize all the acid. It's pretty much just eating foods that are above the alkaline acid scale.
Oh,
so that your body becomes basically a system that fights.
Like from say like 8 and above, pH of 8, 9, 10.
Like 7 and up. 7 and up is the
7 is a neutral.
Neutral, and then from there, from neutral and up is your what you want to stay on. Now,
but what about below 7?
So basically, here's the thing. For instance, kale is alkaline because kale is closer to the original indigenous plant. We talk about the original plants. Broccoli is a breed of kale that's been bred to have that flower part come big and fat and the leaf part really small. Broccoli is no longer alkaline. You know what I'm saying? Lime is alkaline. The lemon, the breed off it that's become from the lime, is no longer alkaline because man has bred it so many times that it becomes alkaline.
I see what you're saying.
So that's what Sebi's concept is, that if you eat the alkaline foods, and the thing about it is, the science of this, here's the truth about the science. Alkaline molecules will connect themselves to free radicals. The same things that heavy metals connect to. When heavy metals connect to them, they oxidize and start turning into disease. When alkaline molecules connect to them, they start turning into wellness and knocking out the rest of the bad stuff. So in that aspect, replacing your foods with these alkaline molecules and detoxifying yourself can definitely help you out of a state of disease, which is why his therapies work so well.
It makes sense to me. I mean, like I said, I don't know much about his theory or his platform, but the way you explaining me having my background as a science, in my science, it makes sense to me.
Right. There's the science behind it. Now, that's the only science that I could really find behind it. But
Oskii, before you even go on, the way you explain it, does that mean if we are not careful, cannabis is cannabis an alkaline food? And are we on the verge of turning it away from it being an alkaline with all these? That's
the point.
That is it, right?
That's what's going on. The nutritional value of the food went down. The nutritional value of the cannabis is going down, and that's why we need to have landrace preservation, so that we can still produce genetics and plants with strong profiles, and so that we can even have somewhere to go back to. Because if we can only go back to if there's no kale to go back to, and all we have is cauliflower, all you have from there on is cauliflower up. And as you know, cauliflower and kale are two different nutritions. They come from the same plant, but two different nutritions. You know what I'm saying? You can't juice cauliflower and get what you get from juicing kale. And that's the same concept with the original Landrace cannabis and cannabis bred to be colorful and pretty and smell nice.
And you know they've been promoting that cauliflower a lot. Even Oprah promotes that stuff.
Right. Not that it's bad. Now, here's the last point I want to make about that. Organic may be better than alkaline if that's what you have access to. It's about an access thing. A lot of these folks that you're talking about are alkaline. Some folks, live in demographics that have Walmart to go to, and that's it. Like, they don't have much further out of there. Even if they get a grocery store, it doesn't have much stuff in there. So they're alkaline.
First of all, we already got organic that is freaking expensive. Even for me, when I go to the store sometimes and I'm looking at it and I'm like, am I sure this organic is different from this other one that is a regular? Sometimes I grab the regular one because the organic is ridiculous. Understood. Now we're throwing in alkaline in there, which is going to be super more expensive, man.
Another one.
We are going down. There's a wide west out there, man.
But check it out. Here's the thing. There are quite a few alkaline things out. And here's the thing. It depends on an individual. If you are trying to detoxify yourself, right? And you're doing the alkaline diet for it, but you don't have access to all alkaline foods. The alkaline foods you have access to are in Walmart or even farmers market. Lots of alkaline foods are not organic, right? Because there are foods that Sebi recommended because those would come from the area where he was living at. The burro bananas from Mexico and Honduras where he was staying at. You can find them here, but they're not organic. Now, for instance, if someone's trying to cleanse themselves and detoxify of heavy metals and whatnot because they're trying to heal of a condition, and they're going for the alkaline diet, they may be grabbing inorganic products because they're alkaline, and then unfortunately putting in more heavy metals and toxins inside them. So because remember, so when it's not organic, it's grown with fertilizers that have heavy metals and carcinogens in them. It's sprayed with fertilizers that have it. So even if you wash it off, which is cool to do, and they have the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15, which is where there's the ones that are better for you to always buy organic, and ones that you can wash off that are better with. But even still, if you're trying to clean yourself of metals and trying to detoxify yourself, then organic. If you have access to something organic, that may be a better choice than you. If you see an alkaline, what's called an organic vegetable here, and it's not alkaline, and an alkaline vegetable here, and it's not organic, your better choice may be to get the organic vegetable if you're trying to rid yourself of certain toxins that this alkaline vegetable may have on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So people are trying to chase down this diet. Oh, alkaline, alkaline, alkaline. For instance, grapeseed oil is one of his favorite oils in Alkaline Diet.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to find grapeseed oil organic. Very hard. Very hard. Grapes are one of the most toxic vegetables or plants. They get sprayed with some of the worst toxins out there.
And I like grapes.
Me too. I love them. But grapes are something that you want to buy organic because they're loaded with toxins on their spray. The delicate skin they have, they spray them seriously. You know what I'm saying?
What do we do
Imagine
if we like grapes?
extract. Well,
what do we do if we like grapes?
Buy organic, and they're expensive as hell. Or buy the regular and, soak and wash them, but detoxify regularly. At the end of the day, it comes down to this. We can't escape everything. We're gonna be toxified no matter what we do. If we buy all organic, we're still breathing in fumes on the way to where we're going. We're still bathing in fluoride-ridden water. We're still, there's no getting away from it, but that's why detoxification is elemental in this environment, because you can do your best and then detoxify.
That is amazing, Oskii. I can talk to you for freaking ever.
Thanks, sister. Likewise.
You need to have all these golden nuggets in that book since yesterday. I can't wait for you to, because this is valuable, man. Like I said, I grew up with this natural. We used to go to open market. You hear what I'm saying? We used to go to open market. You buy your food is from, and I was born in Lagos. It was a big city. When you think of Lagos, you think of New York. But we used to go to open markets and you buy all this stuff natural.
Right.
And sometimes people see me, they say, how come you got kids, teenagers? You look, I've been to my kids' school and they're looking at me and thinking I'm their girlfriend.
Right. Right.
Because foundation is the key.
Right.
Foundation is the key. But like you were saying, beans, we used to buy the beans and cook it ourselves and eat. Now we got the cans.
Right.
It's
along
crazy.
with other preservatives, along with its cooked, I
need that book since yesterday. I need your book since yesterday.
I'm working on it.
I'm gonna put it on my website. I'm calling it forth. Call those things that be not as though they are. These are, as you are saying, you don't even have to be technical about. That's what I did with my book. I just went straight to basic languages that I know my people need, not the scary medical jargons. No, we're not doing medical jargons here. We're trying to take it to my people.
Right.
They don't need to, they didn't need to say, oh, what the heck is that? I'm out of here. And they don't get the benefit.
Right.
That is so you don't have to even be technical about this stuff. You need to document everything for posterity since yesterday.
Right.
I am encouraging you to do that.
It's serious. It's serious.
It is crazy. I thought I knew knew all this organic, and I mean, probably part of me being me is because I wasn't born here. So there are a lot of the food that is eaten in this community that I wasn't used to. My kids, they were born here, but some of the food that I make, they don't want to eat it. And because I'm also not originally from here, I didn't cook those type of traditional American-based food in my home because I don't know how to cook it. So the only place they get exposed to it is in school and all that. So it's kind of like a two-edged sword for me.
It drugs them. Like it because these preservatives and things in them, these refined sugars and refined salts.
And the next thing we put the kids on Adderall. Oh, it's ADHD. What do you think is causing the ADHD?
Absolutely. I mean, come on, man. And you know what's crazy? Like my mother, I grew up in the holistic community because my mother got back to it. She came here from Jamaica and got really messed up. Both of them did. My dad died from it, from eating how American eating, just getting to American style and just like not realizing that they had gotten away from what was wholesome.
From their roots.
Right. They didn't realize that this was dangerous. Mind you, people weren't dropping dead like flies from this 50 years ago. You know, these diseases were in their infancy. prostate cancer just started appearing the other day. Like my dad was in the first generation of men dropping dead from prostate cancer. Like that wasn't something that happened. So repercussions of this Western lifestyle and these fast foods and these this animal agriculture, this overdone stuff, it just started playing out, you know, a good 20, 30 years ago.
And you know, one thing I've noticed also is now being incorporated into the genes. It's now becoming genetics.
No. For instance, I grew up under when you start eating those things, it changes your perception on what is what. And I have concept here, and I'm making a whole entire thing on it called the endorphin swap, right? Endorphins are released by three things: fat, salts, and sugars inside the foods, right? Now, we have been trained, now our brains have gotten trained to get accustomed to refined sugars, refined salts, and saturated fats. These things are the signals that we get to make us enjoy these things that we get from, you know, creaminess, from saltiness, from sweetness. Those are our glucose, our energy, our gasoline. Those are our minerals, our salt. Those are our fats, our connectors, our vehicles and stuff to get things where we need to go. Those are our vital nutrients that we need. And that's why our brain gets pleased when we have them. But they've switched these nutrient-dense sources, our complex carbohydrates, our complex chain fats, our real rock salts and mineral salts, our complex sugars from fruits and vegetables. These are the areas that we're supposed to get the release from, but we're getting the release from refined lab-made chemicals. Sugar, for one, when they're done like this is drugs. We're talking about the coca leaf compared to crack cocaine.
I know. That was what I was saying. That look here, morphine, we already have endorphin in our body. Then we brought in morphine. Then they start modifying every chain. The more you modify, the stronger this thing binds to the brain. Then where does addiction come? And this, I'm not gonna let you go before I got two more questions. What do you think about this modification going on with cannabis, phosphorylated cannabis, trimethyl methoxy cannabis? What do you think of those?
What is that now again?
These are like cannabis, regular cannabis or THC. Then they start adding phosphate. It's kind of a compound, and add it to as a side chain. You know, like you've seen the structure of let's say THC. You see all those oxygen and hydrogen on the structure. They can take away one of the hydrogen and attach a phosphate group. Basically, what that does is that it makes the THC even stronger. You get what I'm saying? That's the new thing.
All right,
because the big farmers, you cannot patent botanicals. You cannot patent this plant. So how are we going to get our money? How are the big pharma gonna make money from this?
I don't think we are, sis. Like I'm not, you feel me? Like I'm gonna be real with you. Coming from the underground, like they're not gonna let it happen. I'm not the one who's who I come from the place that understands what's going on here. And the forces that be, they're not gonna let it happen like that, man.
I know.
It's not, they're not gonna, they have too many industries built up in its absence that will crumble if they let it back in its full medicinal form and let everybody just have access to it the way they would. It's not in their best interest. And these people are not known for doing the right thing.
What's gonna happen to our people? Because we are already locked up in jail. You were part of these folks that in the injustice, locking people up in prison for cannabis, for even drugs. What happens? Where do we go from here for the Black indigenous people of color? How can we even survive?
Learn how to grow this plant yourself, secure a seed producer that messes with landrace preservation, and get down to business and understanding how the plant works and grows on your own, like so that you're able to be in control of what goes on with it. Because at the end of the day, they're not, I don't believe they're going to let it out there to where they give it to you in its powerful form. So if you want it in its most powerful medicinal form, you're going to have to mess with it, independently and learn it like independently from them.
That's my thought as well, because I, as a clinician, I see the effect of this modification that did to opioid.
Right.
That was exactly what happened with the opioid. They start modifying this thing, and this thing start getting stronger and stronger. And here we are right now.
Right. You have things like Delta 8. This is cannabinoid manipulation. Mind you, there are ways to do, I do cannabinoid. Cannabinoid manipulation is what I do. Make cannabinoids turn to things. Delta 8 is inside cannabis. If you do enough manipulation, cannabinoids will change and alter. CBG is born as, THC is born as CBG, and then it becomes THC, and then it degrades to CBN. So it's like if I have a whole plant and I make an extract with that, I can manipulate it how I want to, knowing how the cannabinoids are, and that's the science about it I enjoy, and doing it with heat and your senses and how the ancients did it. But these folks are doing things like taking the plant and splitting its molecular structure apart in chemicals, and then getting the chemicals back off of them and throwing, right. That's how Delta 8 is made. Delta 8 is pretty much made by degrading this in acids until it becomes another cannabinoid, and then taking it and washing the acids off and giving it back to you as one cannabinoid that, like,
we are in crazy town. We are in crazy. We talked about D8 yesterday at the club, at the Cannabis Psychedelic Club. And every time we bring up that subject, somebody's going to be mad and walk out of the room because they don't want to hear the truth of us saying this is dangerous here. Oskii, I can talk with you forever. I got to bring you back. We're not going to pack this thing in one episode. But before I let you go, what is your advice to our listeners that are new to this space? First of all, new to the cannabis space. Second of all, new to holistic lifestyle.
Okay. My simple message would be that follow holistic practitioners. Try plant-based lifestyle. Get into it. Though it isn't about just going vegan and stop eating all the meat and everything. It's about getting yourself well and healthy. Don't depend on cannabis to save your life. It's your lifestyle. And that's what I'm bringing. And being from the core, from the foundation of the cannabis industry, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you like this, like, it's not cannabis that saves you. It's your lifestyle that saves you. It's not cannabis that is the magic. It's your body that's the magic. Cannabis is activating the magic. And if your body can't work to activate the magic, cannabis won't work. So cannabis has its value, and also if you're really trying to get into the business of cannabis and our Black people and whatnot, our indigenous peoples, look about auxiliary business. Look about the businesses that are around cannabis, the ones that don't actually have to do with the plant. The marketing, the events, the projects and stuff that's around cannabis.
Yeah, like the ancillary stuff, not touching part of the plant.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man, for someone to trust the plant his whole life, me saying this, but like I'm telling you right now, like they're not trying to let them doors open. Like they want that locked. What you got to go through to be hands-on with the plant and be making money off of that, it's almost ridiculous.
That's why it is crazy. And that is why, and guess where the all head leads to now is Africa. And that's why I've started this African Cannadelic Club, whereby I'm going to be educating that community and the diaspora about these plants, about how to be woke, because they're still living in the lies.
Right. I understand.
Our people
in Jamaica.
The Jamaican flag is right there on the new club. I specifically put African Diaspora Cannadelic Club. I had to tell folks yesterday that I'm starting this club, not a vanity. No, this is my extra time. I need time to do a whole bunch of stuff that I needed to do. But I feel like this is important because our people is sitting down there waiting, and their land, they are the one that are being targeted. I've been in rooms where the focus is Africa, but the Africans aren't even learning about it. The Jamaicans, the diaspora, African diaspora, and even learning, they're still living in the lies. So that's why I'm starting that. And I said, you know what, even if it's just one person that comes in that room and listen, I'm gonna be ready when they are ready to go to my line. And I got all the connection ready there already. It's waiting. I got all the, you know how that place is. I got all the connection. I know who to talk to. Nigeria is the giant of Africa. Ain't nobody in Africa gonna do anything unless Nigeria says, let's go. So I'm getting ready, brother. But like I said, I gotta bring you back. But before I let you go, Oskii, tell us where can our audience find you? And that book, we need that book since yesterday.
I'm working on it.
I will put that book on my platform.
I'm dropping something real quick. I'm dropping something real soon.
I will put that book on my platform. I will sell it myself. We need it because this is really huge. It's a matter of life and death. And I know I'm sounding dramatic. This is not dramatic. It's a matter of life and death.
No, it is.
It's our children's life. It's our children's life. Our whole generation depends on this message you just preached today. Where can our audience find you, Oskii?
My Instagram is 11HY HOLISTIC 11 high holistic _ high life HYLYFE. So 11HY HOLISTIC _ HYLYFE. And I also have another. I'm working on a project with Dr. Felicia Dawson and Nurse Marilyn Paris under Plants for Life, PLANTSFORLYFE.co. That's the IG. And there are also websites for both 11holistic.com and plantsforlife.com.
Definitely. And you guys, if you didn't get any of those, don't even worry. We're going to put all this information in our show notes when we publish this stuff. These are amazing golden nuggets. My king, my brother, Oskii, thank you so much for being on this show.
Thank you.
We appreciate you so much. Please keep moving on. Keep doing what you do. I mean, you are making a difference in our community, and we love you. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here.
Protection system.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
That's our show for today, folks. Please, if you are not following Oskii, go to I'm gonna be putting all this information on the show notes. And I mean, we just have to begin to take care of ourselves. We have to go back to the basics. We have to be an advocate for ourselves. Nobody is gonna come and advocate for us. That's our show today, folks. If you are yet to pick a copy of my book, A Pharmacist's Guide to Cannabis, Perspective of a Non-Conforming Clinician, go ahead straight to the website, wci-health.com, or slide in my DM, WCI Health 19. This, if you are a dispensary and you need peace, you don't want to stress when your customer come in, this is what you need to be handling to them. It covers basic, no medical jargons. I mean, I was in a room today, Oskii, and one of these bartender came in, and she came up, she said, Dr. O, I'm so happy. Thank you so much for what you do. And I've only talked for like 5 minutes. She said, everything you just said is totally what I learned is perfect. First time, she said, this is the first room I'm entering on Clubhouse. First room, first time. Our folks are doing great things. So please join our tribe. If you are an organization and you would like to sponsor this show, please, we need you more than ever before. Until next time, folks, remember, health equals wealth. Bye, guys. See you later.
Blessings, sister.
Bye.